Airstrip. It's just by Rutland Water.
Know it well. This is our local airfield.
It's just right for you tonight then.
Yep, bang on.
Going to get congested, so I think I'll get in the air and just do some circuits and watch everybody else take off.
Yeah, I'm up already. Beautiful weather.
Okay, live stream's up and running.
Nice cloud base here.
Fenland has the reputation of being the most difficult airfield in the UK to find due to the fact that all the fields around it look like runways. Oops.
I think there is something on the ground. There is like a step. I just fall over. It's at the beginning of runway 36, be careful.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock, so we're officially on the way.
Yeah, that is tricky to see from the air, isn't it? I can see what they mean.
Well, the alternative is that there's lots of options to land if you need to.
Yeah, that's true.
You show off, Sam.
I was reenacting a Top Gun scene.
Okay, that works.
Must be very boring being in a mountain rescue around here.
There are some very high molehills.
Is this all farming, or do they do any cows or meat raising there?
It's mixed, but although Kent is called the bed basket of the UK, if you like your potatoes, then they've come from the Lincolnshire Fens area.
It's all agricultural plus sheep.
And very flat land too.
That's why they call it South Holland.
Lincolnshire was known as bomber country in the war.
It's the same as the Dutch.
And I guess they have some ponds for irrigation.
Now we have dikes all over the place and pumping stations.
And it rains every day.
A lot of it is below sea level, isn't it?
Looks like runway 23 here, chaps.
You said runway 23?
That's where I'm heading.
Well, that's where I'm heading too. It's a short one.
Our winds are 340 at 8.
Oh shoot, sorry, I forgot to turn my smoke off.
RAF Wittering on the left and Rutland Water coming up.
Someone overcooked brakes there, I think.
What do we got? A racetrack over there.
I think that's Rockingham. I'm not sure if it's still open nowadays. It was the idea was to bring over American circuit racing, or oval racing rather.
Runway 29.
Roger that.
Beautiful little lake here.
Everyone's very quiet tonight. There's a lot of concentration going on.
The airfields are a bit less visible than usually.
It's actually really nice around here.
I wouldn't say it's nice to drive around, because it's flat as a pancake. And 50% chance if you leave the road you'll end up in a dike.
You know what?
A ditch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call them dikes, same as in Holland.
We call them backs up north.
Dike.
I should have understood that. In Swedish, it's dike.
Yeah.
Back.
Okay, so off to Coventry next.
So what's at Coventry? What's the saying? Sent to Coventry.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from, that saying. So for anybody not from Britain that's on the stream, the phrase, if you're sent to Coventry, it means somebody is not talking to you.
You mean like frozen out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Coventry.
In the modern language, it's called cancel culture, isn't it?
So the place is not accepted by general public.
Yeah, but I don't know what the backstory is behind it. It'd be an interesting one to look up, I guess.
Something to do with Lady Godiva or knowing her.
This wind park is a bit smaller than last Sunday's.
Right, I'm going to come charging through the pack to get to the next airfield first to film people coming in again.
What are you flying tonight, Jonathan?
The Blackwing, the new little ultralight thing.
That's why you think you can beat everybody, is that the story?
It's pretty quick.
It's pretty expensive as well, isn't it?
I'm not sure. No, you see, because the price is in Australian dollars, remember, so it was about £20.
No, not so bad. I thought it looked a little bit like the vans.
It's almost identical to the Sting S4 and several of the others, like the VL3 as well. So if you've got anything like that and you're, you know, not trying to have every aeroplane going.
Yeah, I've got a few.
It's like I'm kind of done now with the little Stoll aeroplanes. They're all the same as each other.
Don't mention the Tekken.
Okay, I've done a search on the Coventry thing if anyone wants a history lesson.
Go on then.
Two theories. One is English Civil War. Prisoners of war were sent there and the locals didn't want to talk to them. And the second one is apparently there's a Covin tree just outside the city's castle which people were hanged on. So of course you didn't want to get sent to the Covin tree.
Uh-huh.
Take your pick.
Thank you for that.
Thank Mr. G. Oogle.
He's a clever chap, that Mr. Oogle.
He's very good, isn't he?
He knows everything, eh? He even taught me how to fix my outboard when I blew it up.
Why did you do that?
All the screws on the power head came loose and it pulled on the flywheel and blew all the igniter coils and the alternator.
God, if you'd done that to my motor, I would have sent you to Coventry.
Yeah. I couldn't get anybody to fix it for me, so I had to do it myself. It's right on Christmas. Anyway, I've thrown it away and put a new motor on it now.
Yeah,
I did what Google search told me to do and the rest of the world told me. They said, you've got two choices, Yamaha or Suzuki. Well, I went with Suzuki. I'm very pleased with it.
So Lee,
Kawasaki every time.
Lee that regularly flies with us has appeared in the live stream chat and he's confirmed the Civil War story. He's not flying apparently because he's hungover.
Good evening, chaps. Radio check.
Hiya. That's an unofficial confirmation. 5 by 5.
That's good enough.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Dev.
What are we heading?
My car was built in Coventry.
That's where they send all the Friday afternoon jobs.
Is that MG?
Aren't they made in China now? MG?
Well, it used to be in Abingdon in Oxfordshire. That closed 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, my father was an MG fan. He built an MGA and an MGB, if anybody knows what they are. I think one had a roaster engine in it.
Those A's are pretty looking things, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're back in the 50s and 60s to have an MG was something, wasn't it?
Especially if you had the Bugger Bugger test. Which is the MG BGT.
I have fond memories of my 1960 MGA driving around Boston.
Yeah, my dad was an Italian crackpot, and he lived in his shed building his cars. No Ferraris though.
We gotta have a go at runway 23.
That's what I'm shooting. Turning on finals now.
So on about the car being built in Coventry, Leah's asked Dave if his car was ever finished.
Oh yeah. Mine is owned by Indians now. Tartar or Tartar, do you know how you pronounce it?
Tartar.
Yeah, Tata Group.
Hey, Dave H, put your undercarriage down.
Got no air brakes on this beast. Flaps either.
Wheels? We don't need no stinking wheels.
Well, they appeared at the last minute.
Bit like that car from Coventry.
You only need wheels for the last foot.
Yeah. He survived. He's back in the air again.
This one just a touch and go.
Roger.
Copy, stop at the next one.
I want to see a video on this one, Jonathan. No flaps and no air brakes.
I'll do my best.
It's cheaper.
I can see some little hills in the distance there. That's a pleasant change.
Does anyone know on the black square Bonanza if you get gear warning when pulling back on the throttle?
Stalling, isn't it?
It may be linked to your gear, if your gear is down or not.
Yeah, I'm not getting it on the improvement mode. I just wonder on the black square if it's a feature.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Thank you.
you get like a low honk, and you get a red warning flashing, not flashing, but which shows up on the dashboard.
Yeah, normally it's around 19 to 21, isn't it? Inches. IMC.
Yeah, those clouds are closing in, aren't they?
Yeah.
On our way to Long Marston now. Flying over the top of Stratford upon Avon along the way.
That's where my predecessors came from, Jonathan.
Yeah?
Yeah. It came out about 1860, I think it was.
Wow, nice castle.
Wind is north at 17 knots.
Yeah, it's looking like runway 34, isn't it?
Yeah, 34.
Wind on the ground is 360 degrees, 17 knots.
Thanks for the warning about the castle. Impressive indeed.
Just happened to look out the window, there it was.
Oops, got a bit ahead of myself.
I noticed a bug in the Blackwing earlier. I might email them if I remember to do it later. It frosts up on the outside, but there's no sign of it when you're inside the cockpit. So is Long Marston the brake airfield?
Yes, Jonathan.
Yes, it is.
Cool. I'll circle until everyone's in and get all the landings.
Have you got live weather, Jonathan? Is it raining there?
No, it's nice. It's just windy. It's scattered cloud all the way, or broken cloud I should say, all the way. I've set the time for kind of middle of the day though, so, or early afternoon.
I'm at 4:15. I think I'll go a bit earlier in the day then as well.
The only reason I've set the time so early is this Blackwing thing has got tinted windows and it makes it look darker than it is.
Stop the sun frying you. Oh, Brize, Norton, Jonathan would be flying right over our house. Or what was our house.
I was going to say where you lived over 20 years ago now.
Did he move to a warmer climate, Jonathan?
Well, a few degrees further south.
I might do a touch and go board on the water. That's still in the sim.
Yeah, so after being a holidaymaker on the south coast for years and years, he then moved down there and now complains about the holidaymakers going to the south coast.
They're drinking all our water when we're on hosepipe ban.
Oh, do you get that too? We do too. They charge us a fortune all year for the water, and then at Christmas time they tell us we're not allowed to use it.
Yeah, same here.
It's the coffee shop here, boys.
Somewhere near the hangar.
Open Sunday evening?
It's not just open, it's privatized for us.
Cut across the grass.
I suppose I should loop in and join the queue.
Right, I'm off to get a coffee.
What time are you airborne?
5 minutes time.
Okay, then I can go downstairs, take real coffee.
Yes, I'm going to go make a coffee too.
David, your mic's open.
We've got quite a few on the channel this evening.
Yeah, but David, his mic stays open.
Yes, that's David M. Your mic is open. That's 32. That's not a bad number on Discord.
No, it's good.
Hello, David M. Ah, it's all right. You've turned your mic off.
Looks like you sorted it. It's fine. The only worry... Sorry, go on.
No, I just had problems in the beginning of this. And I switched button on the joystick and it worked until now. I don't know what's happening, but I've been
oh, never mind.
around.
Yeah, don't worry. The only reason we use push to talk on the events is when we first began doing this, we didn't have push to talk, and occasionally we would hear things in the background that we shouldn't. So it's to save people's embarrassment, and obviously for safeguarding reasons as well, I guess.
Yeah. But it's the same setup I've always used, and it's never been a problem before. So, but I've been mixing around a lot with shortcuts and doing macros and stuff today. So it's probably that's where the fault.
I think we've all been there, and suddenly thought, why is that doing that?
Exactly.
If anybody wants to do the ILS at Brize Norton, it's 108.55.
Has anybody ever made any decent scenery for Brize Norton, or found any? Because I grew up near there, and I've never seen any decent scenery for it.
That's what's on Flight Sim 2. Long as you've got all the extras, libraries.
Oh, there's a load of requirements to install it and have it work properly.
Yeah, it's only about 3 or 4, but it is very good, except the old cantilever hangar, the long one, is not quite correct in the roof. But it's pretty good. Most of the other buildings are there. And they've got a lot of historic type airplanes added as well. The only ones missing VC-10s.
Okay, everyone, it's 9 o'clock, so if we're all ready, shall we hit the air again?
Yeah. Go for it.
Set to go. Got my coffee. Yeah, we're out of here. You allowed to drink and drive on this flight?
Naturally.
Well, I got Baileys in my coffee, so...
Somebody has asked on the live stream if we're going to go to EGBO. I'm not sure what airfield that is. What's EGBO? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
We're not going to there today. I don't know which one it is. We're going to what Brize Norton is EGVN.
Wolverhampton, they're on about. Yeah, we've already gone past. We're going back down south now towards Oxfordshire and Brize Norton. Halfpenny Green, apparently. But Philip is the guy that's posting on the live stream, just for everybody's information. Philip, if you wanted to join VirtualFlight.Online, anybody can create an event and a flight plan for an event, and that goes for anybody that's on the flight tonight, actually, because Peter's been doing some sterling work making these flights. But if anybody wants to go and make flights up of areas of the world they know for future events, it's very easy. There's lots of guidance in the website to do it.
I tell you, I had one, Jonathan. I had a visitor come to see me, an old ex-Air Force mate of mine. We joined on the same day back in 1960. He became a commercial pilot, and he flew for 2 years up in Papua New Guinea. And he was telling me about some of the airfields that he went to. So I went and had a look. Yeah, scary, mate. Real scary. I thought I might put a flight together and invite the boys along.
That sounds like a Monday night flight, Alice.
Yeah. Emoji was the name of the airstrip. They're all dirt strips up in the mountains, and they're only about 300 metres long. We used to fly the old Norman Islanders and that sort of thing in there.
It's interesting, actually, on about like stories from the past. I've had a few emails recently from people that have been either watching our group flights or watching some of my videos on YouTube, and they've been telling me their backstory, and they're really interesting backstories, and some of them are like retired instructors and all sorts of stuff. And it got me thinking about if anybody would be interested if I set up like a round table where it isn't actually a flight, where we can hear the stories of some of the people that are now retired from flying.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I'd be in for that.
Yeah, so just have like a round table evening where we all sit down with a coffee and they can tell us some hair-raising stories.
I think that's a good idea, Jonathan. I really do.
Yeah, I'll see if I can put it together.
Well, you just create another channel on the Discord.
Well, it's interesting. Discord does actually support a special type of channel called a stage for having guest speakers. But I think it would work anyway. Everybody's well mannered, so we'll just have a normal voice channel and introduce them at the start, and then people can chip in asking questions along the way as well. Because I know we've had a guy fly with us, I'm not sure of his name, that's ex-US Air Force, isn't he? That knew a lot about kind of 1960s and 70s Air Force stuff.
When we get to Morton in the Marsh, we're actually at the north end of the Cotswolds.
165 degrees.
A few hundred feet in, getting low to the ground.
Talking about Papua New Guinea, there's a guy on the YouTube channel, what's he call himself? The Missionary Pilot. Flies Kodiak.
Yeah, he goes over to Port Moresby, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I love watching that guy's videos.
He's fantastic, yeah. I love that little gadget he's got that he puts on the dashboard of all his aeroplanes that is like his checklist, and it's just a load of switches that aren't wired to anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really clever idea, isn't it?
It is. It's a really cheap, easy hack to, you just flick the switch as you do each thing.
Like a fidget checklist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very cool.
I think he actually sells them. Oh, for anyone that's interested, I've been looking into t-shirts this weekend and caps and things like that, so the shop will be online very soon.
Do they make them big enough for my size?
I expect so. The the interesting thing, given the events of the last few days, I don't know if anybody know about me being trolled and stuff like that, but I think the first t-shirt out of the gate is going to say across the front, "I'm not a real pilot."
I like that. That's good.
I don't like trolls.
No, just not a real pilot with a picture of a paper aeroplane or something.
Have you had a lot of hassle over that, Jonathan?
A little bit. There's been a couple of people going around various other channels basically trashing me, but I'm not gonna go after them because it's just not worth it.
Not Jim by any chance?
No.
The ironical thing, though, is that in the sim you've got more hours than most PPLs.
I know, it's crazy, but then I guess PPLs must be constrained by money at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? What I mean is that you have more experience because the sim is very good nowadays with regard to real flying. I know you've not done
Well, it's interesting. David H. said last week, didn't he? He was watching all of us and said there are a great many of us that would be fine in a real aeroplane, which was quite an eye-opening thing to say, really.
Well, real airplanes are easier to fly.
Well, that's funny, Jonathan. The gentleman that came to see me the other night, Paul's his name. He was actually a flight testing officer for the Department of Civil Aviation down here in New Zealand. And he fully qualified flight instructor and all the rest of it right through to commercial ratings. And I've shown him the sim and he was just blown away from it. He said the only thing that's different is the physical movement.
Yeah, exactly.
He said other than that, it's brilliant. And
I think
very impressed.
I think that comes into what Joe was saying. That's why the real thing is easier, because you can feel what it's doing.
I'm over Little Rissington.
Delays and feedback.
Yeah.
But by the same token, that can also get you into trouble in the real thing, because in instrument conditions, your senses betray you really badly.
A friend of mine was talking about you earlier today, so your ears must have been burning. but yeah, I mean, you come over with you've got the voice for it. You really do sound like you know what you're doing. And
that's the trouble.
It might be over convincing, but carry on, mate. You're doing a brilliant job.
I think I need to do that almost like a soundbite. It's John Oliver, isn't it? I need to have his kind of soundbite saying, "Not a real pilot," or something like that.
I don't care what it is, Jonathan. What you've done is very helpful.
Cool. I think we have had the moderators at VirtualFlight.Online this week. We were having a big debate about the virtual airline and whether it's going in the right direction with various things, and we just came to the conclusion in the end it gives people something to do, and it's good fun because of that.
Well, it is. I've just finished that massive tour of Greece. It took me about 2 months.
Jonathan, I'm from Dallas, Texas in the U.S., and I love your videos.
Thank you very much.
Spokane, Washington State. Yeah, same. I love your videos. I've bought in planes on recommendations from you. The Norseman was the last one I bought.
I always feel a bit bad because I never really critique them as much as I should.
You bloody liar.
I've only been burnt once, and that was the flying boat. The what was it? The Clipper. And but I found out afterwards that developer was going after everybody. Apparently there was, excuse the language, there was quite the shit show on one of the forums online. Was it AvSim in their forums?
Yes.
And he basically went to war with everybody.
That's not good policy, is it?
It's not good PR at all.
Very nice to be honest.
You want a T-shirt saying I'm not a real pilot, but I could be.
That could be on the back, couldn't it? Or a list of the aeroplanes and like 70 different types or something.
All the ones in MS.
Yeah. So pretend qualified with this weather has suddenly got atrocious.
Oh, well, you can push a button, Jonathan, change it.
I know you can, but
Do God act.
No, the trouble is there's a voice on my shoulder saying, let's have a go at it. Actually, no, I've got the 3D screen in this aeroplane. It's got the G3, or was it the G3000X or something it's called? G3X, sorry.
Coming up to Burford.
So it's, yeah, it's full IMC conditions over Brize. Oh, actually, no, we're coming out of it. We might get away with it.
If anybody's interested, as we approach Brize Norton from the north, you'll see a quarry. We used to own it.
Is that where the dead bodies are?
Might be a few.
They did dig a Spitfire up at the quarry.
Yeah. And I had the nose boss and somebody pinched it.
They, did you have some people come out and dig it out properly?
No, they did that in the war, or after the war.
Right. But you found the engine block, didn't you, in the rock face?
Yeah, and loads of things like valves and engine parts. But what was eye-opening, I don't know what speed it hit the ground, but you're talking solid rock, and the nose boss was about 10 foot down.
Well, it's sedimentary, it's limestone, so it's soft rock.
Well, yeah, but it's still rock.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't want to hit it.
The people in the village could remember it, that were still alive at the time.
Yeah, because the bullets were going off as it was burning.
You found a bit of a flying boot as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and a part of the windscreen. Well, if it was the windscreen, it was glass.
I am being pelted with rain now.
Live weather and shoot the ILS then, Jonathan.
Well, I can see the runway. It's fine. It's just a bit wet.
To my left.
Not too bad, eh?
So the town next to the airbase, even though it's called RAF Brize Norton, the town is Carterton. Brize Norton is the small village just off to one end of the runways. And
the eastern end.
Yeah. So the reason it got called RAF Brize Norton is during the war there was an RAF Cardington. And over the radio it was a bit too close.
To Carterton. But within about 3 miles, there's 3 or 4 more airfields.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things. Anyone that's doing this, that's international, that's maybe flying around the middle of the home counties, as they call it, in the UK for the first time. There's airfields everywhere because this was the chain home. Well, what do they call it? What did they call the squadrons that flew out over the south coast? And oh.
Another proper name.
It was just Fighter Command, wasn't it? But yeah, during the war we obviously had lots and lots of Spitfire and Hurricane squadrons all over the country. So there's the airfields that were fighter airfields are very distinctive. They've got, you know, crisscrossed runways and lots of little parking areas. A lot of them are disused now.
Well, you can only see the concrete, not even the runway, it's just concrete billets then where they were stood.
Yeah. But Brize Norton is a huge base now. At one time, I don't know if it still does, but at one time it was handling ATC for the entire European sector for the RAF and various other air forces.
I was told by local RAF people the actual tower is tiny, but 90% of it is underground.
Yeah, it is. I went down there to get a METAR report. I went flying with the kid from next door, whose dad was one of the pilots there.
Yeah, when you used to fly with, what was it, Chris?
Yeah. So we went down to the first level, I guess, to go and get a METAR report that had just been printed off on a huge big plotter. It was quite stunning to see it all down there.
Just flying over a solar farm. There's the quarry. I'm back over the top.
So next leg after Brize Norton is 124 degrees down to Chiltern Park Aerodrome. Someone's saying in the live stream chat I should really try and keep up with it all. Yeah, somebody's from Burford here. Yeah, Cardington is where the airship hangar is, apparently. An 11 group. It was Fighter Command in the southeast. So there you go. There are several fields around the area where all of the shot down aeroplanes were collected up and buried. And there are some that are near Brize Norton. I guess it was the same all over the southeast, to be honest.
Oh, I see the co-op still open.
Let's get going. So yeah, the huge advantage, as I was saying, for people if you've not really flown much around the UK is there's lots of small airfields everywhere that were originally wartime airfields, but it does mean you've got lots of kind of 20-minute flights between airfields all over the country.
If you quickly look at my stream, you'll see my scenery of Brize Norton.
I think the strangest airfield, which isn't operational, but there's stories of it going to become operational again, is probably Manston on the far southeast coast. It's the biggest runway you'll have ever seen. Or certainly the widest.
We had Air Force One land up at Durham Teesside because we got that Tony Blair that used to live in Sedgefield, or maybe still does. So that's my claim to fame. I lived at Duxford for about 10 years.
Oh, lucky.
Right at the end of the runway, three little cottages.
Yeah.
On the far side from the M11, just on the left-hand side. Yeah, Grange Road it was called.
I need to figure out going and having a day out at Duxford to go and look at the museum there.
Take plenty of money with it, costs an arm and a leg to get in now.
Does it? They've got a TSR2 there, haven't they?
Yeah, we used to live just down the road from there at Bishop Stortford, near Stansted Airport.
Another good one's Cosford, just
Crikey.
northwest of Birmingham.
Crikey. We bought 2 ice creams the other day for 18 quid, so everything's going up.
So someone's asking in the live stream chat, is it worth joining? We're only a couple of legs away from the end of the flight, so we're about 40 miles away from the finish. So
Well, they could still more from come online at.
Yeah, they could do. We're on our way to Chiltern Park.
We're going round to Jonathan's for a cuppa afterwards.
Yeah.
Chiltern Park Aerodrome. If you wanted to spawn in there, you could join the group for the last leg over to High Wycombe. So it's Echo Golf Golf Oscar.
Here, most of these fields I'm flying over, I spread a line.
Oh God.
I haven't said that for a couple of months.
It's really interesting today during this flight. I have had my controller, I'm using a Thrustmaster, so I'm using it for rudder and controls. It has locked up on me twice, so I visited the woods and I just face planted myself a few minutes ago because the trim decided it was going to go to -40 by itself. So great fun.
Oh my word.
I like that. You visited the woods. I'm a tree hugger. Fellow tree hugger here.
On about controls going crazy or the risk of it happening, did anybody see that picture that went viral a couple of weeks ago where the crew aboard, I think it was a 737, had propped a hot drink on the throttle levers?
No.
I'm not sure if they both got fired for it, but yeah, they put a picture out on Instagram, I think, where they were having a break and they were sat in the cockpit.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they propped a hot drink on the throttle levers. Oh my word. Imagine if that had fallen over.
And
Didn't they ever watch Fate is the Hunter?
Yeah, I was going to say Fate is the Hunter was a movie all about that.
Really?
There has been an airworthiness directive from EASA a few weeks or months ago to forbid use of coffee cups, not to have them over the pedestal or the central part in the cockpit. There has been some incidents, like coffee poured over on computers or levers and so on. So there has been an official airworthiness directive.
Oh my word.
Does that apply to us too?
Maybe that's what explains why he visited the woods.
Right, just a word of warning about Chiltern Park Aerodrome. Looks like 32, or it could be 03, given the wind direction. But at the 14 end of 32, it is about 10 feet below the other runway. So if you don't take off, you're going to hit a very quick dead end.
I can neither confirm nor deny I was drinking coffee.
Coffee is actually in the list when you design something to put in an aircraft, like a computer or a control and so on. You have to qualify it against fluid susceptibility. Coffee is on the list of the fluids you have to test it against.
It makes sense.
Jonathan, are you flying the Black Wing?
I am.
How do you like it?
I don't know. It looks very pretty, but there's bits and pieces on it that are not quite there, if that makes sense. There's some odd decisions, if it's accurate to the real thing in the cockpit. Some like switches that behave not as you might imagine. It's very quick, but I think given the trouble is with the simulator now, there are so many different choices in each aircraft class, and for some, oh my word, I've just gone completely zero visibility. I'm having to sit inside looking at the monitor screen. So yeah, the problem I find now is that the aeroplanes are becoming so good that if something isn't like 100%, it starts to look quite poor compared to others. But it's very good. It's very pretty. It's easy to fly.
You have any trouble with the reflection on the
Yep.
side?
That's, I say, one of the major downers is they've got this reflection on the inside of the canopy, and it does obscure your vision quite a lot sometimes.
Right, matter, that's real life.
So I can't see the airfield.
That's why you wear polarized sunglasses that cost about 300 quid.
So what are we shooting at this airfield? Looks like little nav map says 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2.
Can't see a thing. I'm like Jonathan. It's just grey
Well,
out there.
I'm just descending down to see. I think I'm not sure if it goes down to the ground. I'm going to take a risk here and start circling down.
I'm at 1,000 now, and it's still totally.
Yeah, I'm 1,300 feet. I can see shadows of fields beneath me. So 1,000 feet. 750. So at 500 feet you can see the ground, but it's very murky.
Going over Wendy's hometown now, Jonathan.
What's that, Didcot?
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably need to be 250 feet to see anything. It's quite horrendous actually.
Well, let's have a go, Jonathan.
It's not a real airplane.
Cheers.
Jonathan, maybe you need to try the coffee trick against the trolls. Maybe that'll help them out.
I will advise everybody to tip coffee into their joysticks to make them work better. Let's see who does it.
I can testify it works great. Try it.
Or you press Control-Alt-Delete to clear the screen.
I wish I could find the airfield.
Okay, I can see it now, yeah.
I'm flying this velocity, Jonathan, at 62 knots. And it's still...
I'm flying with a ground track plotter on a little nav map on my second screen. I'm cheating.
Yep, that's how I do it.
So this little velocity's running at 62 knots, and it's not losing any height.
I have just spotted a field that's been line spread. That's the first I've ever seen in the sim.
Right, I found the field. But I was at 200 feet to find it.
I found it, then lost it.
Boy, I landed in another field, it works.
I'm turning on left base now.
When in doubt, go out in the middle of the field and just stand, because you'll be outstanding in the field.
That's the Scarecrow that won the award, wasn't it?
You got CDM, don't come Monday. Or DCM, sorry.
So if anybody can see my name tag, I'm over the field. Whoa! And I've just crashed.
You're now under the field.
You need to leave that to me, Jonathan. Here, you want my joystick?
The
over the field in many bits.
So my review now of the Black Wing, it's suddenly tucked under, and there was no getting out of that one.
It digs a nice hole, huh?
It did. So the farmer will be pulling bits of carbon fibre out of the field for a few weeks. Going to be selling very expensive shovels to people.
Actually, Benson's just up the road. We had cadets there about 10 years ago, and it was that really hot summer. and we actually were borderline flying because the temperature of the tyres were rated at 38 degrees C. On the grub tutors.
Which compass direction are you guys using for your approach at the aerodrome?
I was just going by little nav map. I was cheating really when I was...
340. Just a grass strip and...
And there went my plane again.
Oh, did anybody watch the trailer of the Grim Reaper's YouTube channel? It's the best cut together thing I've seen. They've got the A-Team music as they introduce their various characters on their YouTube channel. It's absolutely brilliant.
What was the name of it again?
The Grim Reapers. They do videos of DCS. So instructional, entire missions, you know, staged, all sorts of things. But they focus on DCS and the military aircraft, but they are very, very good at what they do. But yeah, they've got this like a highlight reel.
I like the introductions to the characters.
Yeah. For a long time on their YouTube channel, they had mock dog fights where they'd have a red team and a blue team, and they'd take off from opposite ends of the same runway.
Just gone over the River Thames.
You can see the River Thames?
Yeah. I'm south of Chiltern Park Aerodrome now.
So I've just climbed out to 7,000 feet and I'm just out of the cloud now.
Thames goes from here in, well, actually from Oxford down to Henley. Through Wallingford to Henley.
This is some pretty severe weather, isn't it?
There's a lot of rain streaking past my windows.
I went into clear skies in a hurry.
Hey, Jonathan, I've got a suggestion for you in terms of an airport to check out for your short takeoff and landings. You should check out NC-17. The name of the place is Wolf's Den.
I'm just writing it down. NC-17.
you might have to go through some trees. As in shooting the gap between the trees. Think about it as being a football or soccer goal, I guess. I think the runway is like 962 feet by 20 feet, and it's grass, and there's lots of good old North Carolina pine trees all around it.
Seems just frozen.
Is that the one on top of a mountain?
No, it's in the eastern part of North Carolina, near the coast, the Outer Banks. Ending strip is probably being generous.
One way.
Given the wind, I'm just going to check.
2-4, left hand downwind, eh?
Yep.
Let's be orderly, chaps.
I got 3-5 with my wind.
Go ahead and 2 forward, Booker.
Yeah, 3-5 straight to wind, isn't it?
So 3-5 then.
Yeah, 3-5, 3-4, both the same. It, I think that's grass, isn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah, 2-4 and 0-6 is the proper runway. All the others are grass. There's a grass runway alongside 2-4 and 0-6 as well.
That's 0-6 right, 2-4 left.
Yeah.
That's grass.
So I'm going to do this semi-correctly for a change, seeing as I know the pattern here.
What the approach.
Which way was the wind?
Going over band areas, aren't you, where they'll ring up and complain.
Well, there's a noise abatement area. It's quite a specific pattern.
Where the posh people live.
So what is the pattern there, Jonathan? Looking
well,
at the...
If you can see me on the map. Yeah, if you can see me on the map, if you were going for 2-4, you go to the left of Freeth, or to the west of Freeth, and then there's a pattern in the trees that everybody calls the Beast, but you can't really see it in this weather conditions very easily. I'm just flying towards it now. I'm not showing my screen, am I? Let's share my screen. Go live. So if I go from the outside, you can see there's like this shape in the fields if you approach it from the... what direction am I going at the moment? 300 probably. 330. So it looks like an elephant a little bit. Then when you get to the Beast, you turn right to 60 degrees. I'm far too high actually. God, this crosswind's horrific.
Oh shoot, sorry.
I'm just heading straight to the coffee shop.
Thought we were going round to Jonathan's.
The town I actually live in is about 3 miles to the southeast of where this airfield is.
Well, this is what you pretend. Maybe you're not really living there.
I was just past someone, landed in the school football pitch.
You better get off it quick. If Jonathan's daughter sees you on it, she'll book you.
Right. But I just flew over them on the way to 3.5. There's that helicopter parked in the way again.
I'm just curious from other folks in the group. I've had a lot of problems lately, and it really seems to not be related to any particular aircraft with my parking brake not wanting to disengage after I've engaged it. It's very, very strange.
What controller have you got?
Jonathan, that's a Thrustmaster.
Okay.
I've had the same problem. I just keep hitting my button that I selected for parking brake, and it finally turns off.
Well, I tried keyboard too, right? It's like, okay, well, the controller's not responding. Let's see if the keyboard command works, and that didn't work either.
Have you got foot pedals?
No, not yet. I think that's my next gear purchase is going to be the foot pedals.
I can't recommend the honeycomb stuff enough. Love it.
Love my honeycomb stuff.
Yeah, the same. Do you have the honeycomb pedals?
No, I haven't actually. I've got Thrustmaster pedals, but I've got the honeycomb quadrant and the throttle quadrant.
Yeah, I've got the yoke and throttle quadrant.
I've got a SciTac radio stack as well. And 2 screens. Good. And a head tracker.
VR, baby.
Yeah, I like the physical hands-on feel. I know people say you
No, thanks for the suggestion. I appreciate it. I think it's going to be a good investment.
Yeah, I got the Logitech pedals. I love them.
Yeah, the Logitech rudder pedal is a good start. You can find them also sometimes used, so it's pretty cheap. And it's a good way to see if you really need them. But usually you don't go back.
On everybody's honeycomb throttle, do your gear lights come on?
No, there's a fix for that though. I'm in VR, so I don't really care if they're lit or not.
I'm not going to talk to you then.
Someone's gone to Coventry.
Done.
Jonathan, I'm doing turning circles in this, just so that you know.
What's that?
It's turning on the spot, my velocity.
Ah.
I found the problem with my hot mic.
Hooray! What was it?
I have this the SciTac throttle quadrants, you know, the one with the prop mixture and throttle. And when you pull it, when you pull it back, you have like a reverse switch. When you put it in low idle, the throttle, and that I have connected up to the fly-by-wire 320. So it seems that this one, this shortcut that is programmed as triggering one.
You put it in the coffee.
Yeah. I'm going to put some in there now, I think.
I'm going to take a screenshot of this. This is crazy. I've never seen this many people at Booker before.
I'll have to ask the farmer next door, can we park in his field?
I think there's something going wrong with the multiplayer tonight, because 90% of everybody just vanished.
Yeah, that's been happening to me a lot.
Yeah, I keep seeing people reappearing.
Maybe we should switch to a different server to try next week then.
I don't know. I've been having this issue on every server.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. I'll see players in the distance, but everybody that I'm with will all of a sudden disappear.
When I logged on earlier, I kept getting that warning that I wasn't connected to the SIM, you know, the Microsoft.
So, as everybody's probably heard and probably seen on the YouTube channel as well, the Pilot Plus scenery for Wickham is very reasonably priced, and it's very, very accurate to the real place. And it's very good frame rates as well, because it's only a small airfield. There's actually not that much scenery here, you know, rendered, so it doesn't kill the frame rate like some of the airports do.
Is it Orbix?
No, it's a little company called Pilot Plus that make it. I think you might be able to buy it through Orbix. They might have sub-licensed it through them.
And of course, we got the World Update on Tuesday.
Oh yeah. Is that the Oceania?
Yeah.
So I better put a tour together of islands, I guess. Right, I'm going to stop the live stream there.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that, Peter. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. It's been fun doing.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys.
You enjoyed the flight.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks. It was a nice flight.
Yep. See you soon.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.
Good night. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Cheers. Good night.
Yep. Thanks so much. Good night.
Thank you all. Bye.
Good morning.
There always has to be somebody different.
Well, he's in the future.
Quite true.
I think I'm the only one that comes from south of the border. Is there anybody else south of the equator?
I'm not sure. It's funny you say that, actually, because I was going to do a push. I was talking to my daughters about this the other week. They said, how come no girls do the flight simming? So I might do a big push to see if we can get more girls to join somehow. I'll have to do a shout out somehow.
There's a big group. I've found another looking at.
There's girl pilots out there.
I've got a very good contact in the girl guiding organisation. I shall say no more.
Ah.
Yeah, saying, Jonathan, I found a group out of Aussie by a bloke over there, but it's nowhere near as well organised as this group.
It took us a long time to get this organised. And many would argue we're not.
I can't confirm or deny.
Very civilised. Very civilised. Brilliant.
Yeah, we did. We've tried to stand on the idiots from the start, really. Because when we advertised on the Flight Sim forums, we used to have to deal with it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we stopped.
Well, this is a first, and hopefully there'll be some more.
Brilliant. Right, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go and watch some rubbish TV, and I'll see you all again soon.
Okay, Jonathan.
Yeah, take care.
Good night, Jonathan.
Cheers, bye.
Enjoyed it, Jonathan. Thanks.